All right, so we're going to spend 5 minutes with my good friend Ronald Holguin, who's here to talk about a topic that's passionate to him right now. What are we talking about today, Ron?
The lack of sports in the world, this quarantine,
Yeah,
ruining me, and how much my love for it.
yeah. There's a lot that we're missing out on right now. Of course, we all have to stay safe and indoors, but the lack of sports is certainly taking a toll on our lives. So let's go ahead and talk about it. We're going to spend 5 minutes on it, starting now. What do you got? What to you has been the biggest thing that you're missing out on?
Usually, it's this time of year is usually one of the best. Football just finished. You have basketball and hockey playoffs coming in, and then baseball just started. And who doesn't love opening day and going to a game? And at least during this time of the year, during the summer, you always know that baseball is always going to be on TV, and you have something to go home and watch. Right now, there's nothing, and I'm driving myself crazy. There's only so much bad TV you could watch.
I liked how we got the good news that the Dodgers were finally going to be on DirecTV, which is good news for me. I get to watch more baseball, but there is no baseball right now. So I don't know. Maybe classic games will have to fill the void in the meantime. I know for me, I've been watching a lot of the old games. You and I were talking earlier today. We were talking about watching old Patriots Super Bowl games because they've been airing on the NFL Network. And for me, it allowed me to go back and find a lot of things I missed because they were when we were younger and we didn't notice all these little things. I told you earlier, Tom Brady clearly had an intentional grounding call that was missed on that final drive in the first Super Bowl they won against the Rams that wasn't called. And I got up in arms about it for a few minutes before I got over it and remembered that I liked the Patriots and it was fine.
I
But
wouldn't bring that. I wouldn't bring that up because that's another reason why people would not like the Patriots.
well, that's a good point too. I guess I'll leave that part out. But have you had a chance to watch any of the old games that have been on TV?
I've been flipping through channels, especially over the weekend when I have more time to watch TV. During the day, I'm lucky enough that it's my regular day job. I'm still an essential employee.
Mm-hmm.
So during the weekend, I noticed this past weekend NCAA CBS was playing a game from 1985.
Wow.
Uh, NBC had the Winter Olympics on, or yeah, the Winter Olympics on this past weekend. The PGA tournament was on, one of the Valspar from 2018 when Tiger was in contention, and I honestly watched that for a little while. At least it was something to watch. And golf, I mean, it's somewhat entertaining.
Yeah, we found out this morning too that Wimbledon has been canceled for 2020 also. So I know there's a lot of things that need to be moved. Right, this is all necessity. We got to figure out a way to figure out what's going to keep us entertained in the meantime while we're all stuck inside for the most part. Yeah, like you said, those are a lot of things that we watch all the time that we
We,
look
we
forward to.
honestly we take them for granted. We've
Hmm.
always had sports as our backdrop. I mean, the last 20 years, I remember, man, probably the late 90s actually, going to baseball games, watching baseball games, the playoffs. And back then, you had the Lakers were great. I'm a fan of the Anaheim Mighty Ducks back then, and they were making their cup run in '03, and those go into late June, and it was a lot of fun. Now it's hopefully we don't, or hopefully we get basketball by June, late June, back to start.
I'm just now realizing that you had your glory days back in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, and
Yes.
I'm going to quote unquote glory days because the Boston sports, the mid 2000s up until today. We both had some pretty good years. We got to watch teams win championships, even
Great
though I
times, great
technically don't
times.
claim any of them my own. But it was still fun to watch.
Yeah, when you have a little root and interest, and as for you, you know your family's from Boston, so you have that connection, which is, I mean, more you can say that for more for other people. So at least you were able to enjoy it, and I know your father enjoyed it, and you're
Yep,
able to share that with them because that was 86 years without a World
86
Series.
years. Yeah,
Yeah, so I
and I
mean,
watched all 6 hours of Game Five of the 2004 ALCS a couple days ago. That's how bad it's gotten.
yeah. Well, we gotta do. We gotta get our fix somehow.
All right, we're down to about a minute left here. Final thoughts. What do you do? What are you going to look forward to next? Are you going to look up some old
Uh,
games? Or are you just going to keep on the channels and see what you can find? I know you're working, but when you get home at night, got to find something to do.
I've honestly resorted. I dusted off my PS4 and started playing a few more
Attaboy.
video games,
Attaboy.
catching up on old TV shows a little bit. It's probably about pretty much all I'm going to do until hopefully we get sports coming back in the next 30, 60 days, I hope. It's
Yeah,
a
it will be
sad,
nice,
sad
but
times.
safety does have to reign supreme, as we all know. So hopefully you're staying safe. Be safe when you go to work, and take those precautions. And to everybody else out there, stay safe. And I'll let you get back to growing that beard here.
Thanks. This is another consequence of not being able to go get a haircut or get cleaned up. It's pretty bad.
Good point.
Thanks
This
for
has been
pointing it out.
This has been 5 minutes with Ronald Holguin. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for having me.